Hello, I'm Paul, known on Facebook as Taichi Rebel, and so hopefully you will enjoy it. And like I say, do please join in, be part of this. It's not just us.
If
Okay.
if we don't manage to answer all the questions, then we will answer them later on. So we've been doing Tai Chi, well, Paul more longer than me. We have been having workshops, seminars, schools, you name it, and now we're online.
Just a quick sort of recap on my background. My lineage for Tai Chi is Chen through Chen Yu in Beijing and Chen Zakui's line. So I don't do the Chen Go village Tai Chi. Although that is where I started. Mixed also with Gao Liang Chun, who is the inheritor of Wu Hao style. Both of those two things come together. Plus, I am a registered and fully qualified Chinese doctor and a scientist. So you'll get a lot of different things. Please feel free to ask us questions in any of those fields that you wish.
Yeah, so he very quickly reeled off all his lineage, but Paul trained in China.
Yes,
When you were in China, did your teachers talk to you about knees?
constantly. And
Okay.
I mean constantly. It was an absolutely first thing they started with, and the last thing they finished with was knees. Knees are vitally important to get right.
Mm. But we see a lot of problems with knees.
Yeah.
And why do you think when people practice in the West, they instantly get like, I can't do this, like my knees hurt. It's really difficult.
Kung Fu.
Okay.
Kung Fu is the answer. In the East, nearly every single Tai Chi master or Tai Chi teacher out there, all of their students will have been brought up with a Kung Fu background of some type. So they'll have some form of external martial art background. Their posture will have been set from an early age. Their use of knees, their use of kwa, their use of ban, all of that will have been set from an early age. When you get across to the West, of course, we don't have that tradition. Our tradition is completely different. I should imagine not everybody who's listening tonight has a martial art background or a kung fu background.
Well, I thought we are going to start tonight.
The kung fu background.
Yeah.
I told you we couldn't do. We haven't got room in the room for it. Otherwise, yeah, no problem. But it's that basically they start from a different place in the East that they do in the West. And of course, as the teaching has traveled back over here to the West, it's come as it's taught in the East. So that section of learning how to stand, how to use your knees, how to use the floor, how to use your kwa and your back, all of that is missing unless you have a martial art background, preferably from the East, because they will have given it to you. So so Kung Fu.
Right, but we're not gonna do any kung fu,
No,
so
not today.
we have to do something else. So you called this webinar "The Trouble with Knees is Your Feet."
That's right.
Why did you do that?
Because that is the trouble with most people's feet. Most people's knees is their feet.
Okay.
The whole webinar will explain it better as we finish. But pretty much most people, when they start with their movement, they start with their leg muscles and they start with their shoulder muscles, they start with their back muscles. And what's missing is the foot connection to the floor. And that's on both sides. So on the energetic side of this, you have a point called bubbling well, which we will be showing you in a little while. That is the energetic joint, like the plug point from you as an energetic being or an energetic body into the energy that actually is surrounding the earth, or the energy that creates this life force energy that we have. So chi comes from there, yin chi in this particular case. So that's the energetic point. But the other thing is also that this is the physical point too. You're two things. As a being, you are a physical body, and most of what you've learned and most of what you do is physical. But you're also an energetic body, and the two fit together like yin and yang, like all things within the way that the Chinese describe things. There's a duality. So you have a physical body and an energetic body, but most of the time those two things run together as one. so they're hard to distinguish away from. Your energetic point is on your foot. That's your plug-in point. So if you're going to be doing Tai Chi or you're going to be doing any sort of energetic work, you need to plug into the energy. So that's where your plug is. That's where you plug in. So make sure that that's in the right place. We're going to show you how to do that.
Let's do the bubbling well because we talked about it. And if you can reach your foot, please do this with us. Okay, if you can't, then you'll have to do it on your own later. I am going to show you my foot now.
Branka's foot. If you have access to your foot at the moment, what I want you to do is I want you to put your finger roughly here. Okay, so there. All right. And you'll find if you just play a little bit, you'll find a little groove. Okay. And you'll find it'll go round this mound here. So let your finger go round. Okay. And just after the mound, you'll find a little dent here. And if you press in and up on that dent, you are now pressing bubbling well. That is the point of the foot. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's here.
Yeah. So where Branka is pointing,
just
that's
draw
where
it.
your bubbling well is. And that point there. This is bubbling well. This is your plug point to energy into the earth and out of the earth. Okay, so have a look at that yourself. See if you can find that. If you find it, you'll find if you press it, you'll get a sensation. If you're not getting a sensation, then you've got the wrong point. If you are getting a sensation, you're right. If you can't feel something, just play around a little bit more and see if you can find it. Press it in, press it up, and have a look. So, bubbling well, that's what we do with that. That point needs to be in contact with the floor at all times. Now, obviously, when you take a step, that doesn't happen. So, whichever way you come down, either on the heel here, peel the foot down until bubbling well is on the foot. If you're coming from the toes, peel the foot back until bubbling well is again on the foot in connection with the floor. This has two different, like I said to you, everything is physical and non-physical. You're looking at, obviously, a foot. Now, you can see where the three main nerves, the blue one, the yellow one, and the red one, sort of meet. Okay, where they're closest together. And by no coincidence at all, that is also at bubbling well. Nerves are the feedback system for your physical body. So this is where you get your feelings from. So when you're looking for balance, when you're looking for a proper stance, when you're looking for stability, if you notice that the three nerves that feed back into the system are all at the same point as bubbling well. When you bubbling well is in contact with the floor, so are those three nerves, and you've got the maximum feedback possible. This is the most stable part of your foot. So when you push this into the floor, you have both physical stability as well as energetic connection.
I have a question for you. How many of you are constantly aware of your feet? So part of your awareness is constantly in your feet.
Mixed. More awareness when I'm practicing or training.
When you come to a certain level of Tai Chi, you will learn to hold awareness in whole of your body. In order for the foot to work, you need to put part of your awareness in it. So my foot, if I go back, so my feet do this, right? They roll in. They naturally roll in. And if you see my shoes when I was a child, they all have that sort of, I was walking on the sides of the shoes. So that's what my body wants to do. That's what my feet want to do naturally. So at all times, a little bit of my awareness is down in my feet because I know this. So when I walk or when I stand, I'm always aware, where is my foot? Which way is it going? Right? So you can train yourself to do that. So this kind of position with your feet or this kind of position with your feet, or for that matter, balancing on one foot is not God-given gifts to some people. They are available to everyone, but in order to reach them, we have to practice. This is why we practice. Okay, so bubbling well, and then make sure that your feet roll around on your feet, and make sure that 2 points at the front and 1 point at the heel in balance. Yeah,
Okay.
practical.
Always practical things too here.
Yeah.
So you have this part now where you're pushing your foot into the floor. By doing that, you'll have flattened your foot and your foot will be at its most stable. So this is the best way for actually moving at all from the floor, whether you're walking, whether you're running, whether you're balancing, whatever it is you're doing. This point pressed into the floor will give you the maximum amount of stability that you can have. So this is what you need to begin with. And you may have heard me mention a little thing called qua. Qua is an area that is talked about a lot in Chinese martial arts and also in Chinese movement of any type. And it describes a point of view and a point of moving through the body and a way of actually moving weight through the body without actually losing that connection with the floor or losing the balance that comes from that stability. This is a lot of the beginning parts of Tai Chi, the beginning parts of martial art, the beginning parts of any form of movement related discipline, is to be able to move your weight in a way that does not disrupt your balance. So you can keep balance at all times, regardless of what you're doing, regardless of where your weight is going to or coming from. Okay, so what you're looking at is basically a pelvis. Okay, but as you can see, the floor of the pelvis is a geared wheel. And in there, the geared wheel is moving in one direction. It can actually move in both directions. And next to the geared wheel, at the top of each leg, is a second geared wheel. That wheel actually moves your leg. That's the wheel that actually moves the muscles. That's the wheel that shifts the weight. And the three elements there move as a unit. So you cannot move one leg or one part without moving the other. All of that moves together. So as the center turns like this, so does the leg, like this. And this is qua. The gap in between is called ban, and that should always be well opened so you're not pushing those two geared wheels together.
So that's the space between your legs,
Yes.
inside of your legs.
Underneath the genitals,
Yeah.
like a U. You need to make that into a U. Most people have a V like this, but if you relax this point, yin is called, you can get this. And when you get this, you get that ability to have that lovely cogged wheel that you can see there through your qua, and you get an instant connection. I haven't put the muscular system on this because I didn't want to get too heavily into qua. But through using this method of joining and integrating these joints together, you also integrate your muscles too. If you notice on the top of the leg bone, there is an up and down arrow pointing, pushing towards the floor. We're going to come to that, but bear that in mind as we go further on into the webinar. So we're going to lose the slide now. If you want it to come back, just ask. It's not a problem. Okay, so you're talking about a balance point on the foot, and then you're talking about some sort of geared system around about the pelvis and the top of the legs, so they all join together. And the way that they join together is that you actually push the foot into the floor. So instead of taking your muscle only contracts. Muscle doesn't stretch. So if your muscle is stretched, it's because another one is contracted. And one of the things that you need to learn when you're doing Tai Chi is to contract the right muscle set, to stretch another muscle set, to produce a movement somewhere within the body. And this is higher level Tai Chi. As you go further in, then you can actually pick the muscle you're going to contract. In the leg and in the pelvis area and in the lower back, this is the system, this is the beginning of it, that allows you to have that control over your lower body. It allows you to shift and distribute weight in such a way that no part of your joints will actually hold full weight at any one time. The weight is always in transition from one to another. The weight is always being moved. No joint will actually hold that weight. A lot of the problems with people with knees is the fact that their single weight is pushed onto a knee joint. There's a picture there of a knee, just with the knee joint, and this is what I wanted to show you. As you can see there's no lateral movement on your knee joint.
What do you mean by that?
It doesn't move from side to side.
Thank you.
It's a hinge.
Mm.
That's all. It's a hinge, and it's moved by contracting muscles.
Okay, so no, but is the elbow the same?
The elbow is the same, yes.
Okay, so if this is a knee, so you can't.
No, there's no lateral movement. It's
can't.
not designed for lateral movement at
Yeah,
all.
so just this
Yes.
type of movement.
Yeah.
But not that type of movement.
Precisely.
So in order
the
for the
movement comes here from the pelvis.
so from the pelvis and the foot,
Correct.
you get
Yeah.
that to move. Okay.
So that's the connection between the foot and the pelvis via the knee.
Is this where it sounds common sense? But is this where the problem arises? Because if you start moving the knee against its natural order,
Exactly.
you start wrecking all the ligaments within
Correct.
the knee.
Yep.
Right.
And what happens is from that is that you'll reorder your muscle strength. Like I said before, muscles only contract. So when you're making your knee work in the wrong way, muscles are contracting in order for that to happen. Small muscles. But the more you use those muscles, the bigger those muscles become. And that causes an imbalance with the muscles on the other side. So once you have an imbalance there, then that muscle will constantly pull the knee in a wrong position. And that over a period of time will produce your knee problems. All of that can stop if you have the bubbling well pressed into the foot. Now, there's a second part to this. We're going to be talking gripping the floor now. Have you all got your 4 little things? Chopsticks, yeah, chopsticks will work. Pencils will work.
Yeah.
So watch Branka now.
Okay. So the first thing we talked about is having your foot squarely on the ground. So as I said, what my foot does is this. So it wants to roll in like so. And you can see what it does to my knee. So my natural position, if I'm standing, as my body wants to stand, is like so. And then I want to lock my knees back. That's another thing for knees. Never, ever, ever lock your knees back. Okay? So this is locked knees. This is straight knees. Locked, straight. And watch yourself, particularly when you're waiting in a line for something for a long time. The body wants to do this. So then you use your Taichi not to do that. So if your feet are doing such that they roll inward, you have to put your awareness and put them straight. If they roll outward, same thing. Put your awareness in your feet, have them straight. Now, who can lift their toes? Now, when you lift can you wave?
Can you wave your toes?
Can you wave your toes? The reason why our feet tend to be in a bad shape is because we wear shoes that are narrow. And what that does, that points the toes in and they squeeze. And after a while, they stay squeezed and you lose your connection to your toes. If you want to regain it, here's how you do it. You take your foot and then you can use your fingers. I can use my fingers, but depending on how much you do this or don't do this will depend whether you can get your fingers in here. So what I'm going to do, and this is where your implements come in, because what you can do, you can put your implements like so. And then you can squeeze and relax. And this will start building some muscle in your foot. And this you need in order to grip the floor. Ability to do this. If you put the bigger, like my fingers are thicker, so that's going to be more uncomfortable for me. but it's still a very good exercise to try and do that. And that will force the toes apart. So they start working as toes. Our balance is in our toes. So if your balance is bad, it's because the foot can't grip. If you're balancing on one leg and you get cramp in your foot, that's a good thing because that means that your muscles are waking up. Okay. The other good thing to do for your foot is to have a spiky ball. And what you do, you just roll it. So it's a good massage for your foot, and it's a good massage for your lymphatic system as well. So those are the things that you can do with your...
Okay, John, what did you want?
Yeah, so I'm quite fortunate because I did a lot of karate years ago. We used to do an exercise for side kick, which really helped the dexterity of your toes because you had to lift your big toe and crunch the others. But what I do struggle with is when I'm trying to root into the floor, I have more strength in my big toe and the other toes. But when I get to my little toe, I struggle to get the same amount of strength into the floor with that little toe.
Use
And
those
that's the
pens.
answer, is it?
That's the answer.
Okay, thank you.
It's just like that exercise that you used to be able to get with springs for your hand, and you used to do this to strengthen your hand muscles.
Yeah,
Okay, so that will give you a stronger grip with the pens, the chopsticks, or whatever you're going to use. Doing this on a daily basis will give you grip of your feet, and the grip of your feet is vital for anything to do with balance and movement.
okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So the next thing Paul talked about was the band. You see how my legs are now in a V. Okay, and that means that's actually my glutes are squeezing, which when we hold stress, our sort of hip muscles tend to get really tight. Here, this is my band. Open.
This is what you're looking for.
V, this is the band. Okay, that's your first thing. There we go. And you can see how my knees are tracking over my toes. So I'm not here.
If you look at the point of her knees, when she does that and opens the band, and you drop a line down from the... This is something you can do with a broomstick handle, anything at all. Okay, so she does that again and opens her, and then she drops that. If she lines the stick up with her knee and drops it onto the foot rather than to the side of the foot, honey. You'll find if you're looking from there, it's actually in an alignment with bubbling well. If she's actually got it faced a little far forward, but if she actually does it perpendicular properly, it'll actually drop right onto the bubbling well. And so the knee is over the bubbling well. The bubbling well is on contact with the floor. It's flat and it's balanced. If you're gripping with the toes, then the foot is very, very stable. It's almost like it's glued to the floor. If you've done that and you then open your band like Branka is showing you, your knee will naturally fall over the bubbling well. And it's in a perfectly neutral position. There's no weight on the knee. There's no stress or strain on the knee. And moving from that position will produce no stress or strain on that hinge that is the knee joint. So if Branka moves her weight now into one leg, like this, and there's no stress at all on the knees.
Let's show you what not to do. This is my favorite.
It's sometimes easier as well if you see what not to do.
Okay, so say that you're just standing in the lunge. This is very common. Here we go. There you go.
Lots of people do that.
You see that? This is a proper lunge for me. This, I lose stability. Here, it goes through the knee down, and I'm holding my weight in my legs. Here, only the knee joints work.
Look at her back foot at this point.
Look at that.
See where the heel is? It's up in the air. So that means that whole don't do that for too long, honey. Well, your knees.
Oh no, I'm going to just swim in knees in a bit.
All of her weight then is on the knee joint. All of it. Because that's where you're pushing to. And this is why people have bad knees.
Yeah. He's a favorite number 2. There you go.
Collapsed in knees.
Yeah.
Okay, so here you've got her weight now is going on the inside of the knee joint. You've seen the structure. It's not built for that. And all of the ligaments that are there are under a huge amount of strain. And the outside there, the joint is being pinched together. So now you're actually compressing a joint that doesn't or shouldn't be compressed in that manner. So you're damaging it.
Here's another one.
The one, exactly the opposite with the knee going out. Swimming knees, which you often see when you see Taichi in online.
Let me show what that is.
Branka's going to show you.
Okay. I'm going to do my best swimming knees for you, but it's
hard
this.
to do when you don't do it naturally.
But it's normally they want to go very low in these poses, and this is what you get.
Right. So just hold that for a minute. Just look at Branka's stance now, and the weight in the front knee is far too forward. So there's weight on that front knee joint. There shouldn't be any. Bring that knee back a bit. Okay, now there isn't. Now, if she opens her band and sits down, there's now no weight on her back knee either. So this is a correct position. From there, there's no, if you take a line from the knee point to bubbling well, it's in a straight line. You see that? And the same at the front leg too. So because of that, there's no weight on the knee joint.
Yeah.
There's no wear and tear on the knee joint. You're not pushing that joint out of its position.
Yeah. Okay. And then when people do silk reel, you get this.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not good Taichi, guys.
Really is.
Okay. Shall we do that properly?
Yes, please.
Okay. So sit in the middle, move.
Now watch the knee positioning and watch the band. Now this is the qua being used. So you can see she pushes back. That's that pelvic cogwheel being pushed backwards on one side and forwards on the other. As she pushes the legs the other way, then that side goes back and the other side comes forward. So there's a link between both all the time. It never, ever goes away. That the legs are not independent. They move together always. If one moves, they both move. Just stop and do it badly, Annie, where you can just push one leg and the other leg doesn't move. So like this. See, nothing's happening on the qua and the weight is just going straight onto the knee. It's not going down to the floor.
Or even worse when they collapse it in.
And you'll often see this. So when you're looking online, look at the person you're looking on online. Is this what you're seeing? If it is, look somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because that type of Tai Chi or that type of movement, or that one, the belt, isn't it? That is going to damage your knees. Over the years, it will damage your knees to an extent that you're going to need surgery. And all of that can be prevented by standing properly with the foot. So if the foot is pushing into the floor and gripping, that won't happen. It's impossible for it to happen. It doesn't work.
Okay, so how do you, so you might question now, well, that's all good and well, how do you get there? What's really, really important to be able to do is to squat. Again, don't do this, okay? So you start working, the band is much easier to access. So that's the first skill you need to. So once you plugged into your foot, you have awareness of your foot, you have a good balance on your feet, you open your band. That's the first thing. That's much easier to get than the quad. The quad takes quite a long time, but you can start working. Once you've done that, then see whether you can actually sit down in a squat. If you can't do that, hold on to something and do as much as you can. Try to do 10 a day, okay? We practice Tai Chi, but we practice an awful lot other things too in order for body to be able to do Tai Chi properly. So things complement each other. So as you have energetic, you have the physical. So Tai Chi would, in this case, Tai Chi would be energetic, but your physical, you have to train with actually doing physical things, like being able to sit down in a squat. So start with that. That was my 5. That was my wisdom.
So you've seen what not to do and you've seen what to do. And the skill of it is not using your leg muscles, it's pushing the foot into the floor. If you look at our recent social media, you'll find 2 different methods that we've put out to help people learn how to push from the floor. I admonish you to do that because that will actually help you. Once you can put the foot flat, grip with the toes, push from the floor, open the band, you will take all the weight off your knees. Now, a lot of people go, well, okay, but I've already got knee problems. What do I do about those? Oddly enough, you do exactly the same things and your knees will fix themselves. If you manage to find a way to train yourself to move in that Tai Chi manner, you will use your muscles correctly. Your muscles will probably be out of balance and out of sync at the moment. But the more you do this, the more they will go into sync, the more they'll rebalance.
Because you have no cartilage in your knees.
I have no cartilage in my knees at all,
No.
both knees. But I manage, you've seen me online, I manage with no problems with my Tai Chi movements. And as John will tell you, there's no lack of strength in the way that I use my lower body. It doesn't affect you as long as you move correctly. It only affects you if you move incorrectly. But it's a habit you need to train yourself into. Like Branka said at the beginning when we started this, how many of you have attention to your feet? A couple of you said yes, most of you didn't. Have attention to your feet. Focus to your feet. Focus to the way you put that foot on the floor. We tend to use, a lot of the time we use these barefoot shoes because they're wide. They give the toes room to move. And for us, this is a benefit. We like that. So have a look at the types of shoes that you wear. Are the heels too high? Are the heels that you're wearing on your shoes pushing your knees over bubbling well point? Because often they are, especially ladies' shoes.
Mm.
Okay.
And the shoes you practice in, if they have a very thick sole, you won't be able to ground properly because you're off the ground.
Yeah. So you need thin shoes in order to be able to do that. But the more that you do this, the better it becomes. The more you do it, the more it becomes a habit. And the more it becomes a habit, the more you'll fix your knees. When you learn to move through the choir, the second part of this webinar, which we'll be doing in a few weeks' time, I expect, will be movement through the choir. So pushing from the floor, moving through the choir and transferring weight properly. Once you have both of those elements together, then your pelvis will work as it should work. The joints in the pelvis, there's the second set of fuse joints, like the ones you have in your skull. Those joints, they're very, very hard to move. They're very hard to actually keep flexible. And as you get older, they tend to get very, very stiff. And as they get stiffer, you get harder and harder to be able to move through your pelvis. This method of moving will keep that sacral area flexible. It'll keep it fit. It'll keep it mobile. And if it isn't fit and mobile now, after a while of doing it through the Qigong exercises, you'll be able to do that. On our membership areas, there is a back Qigong. And on the back Qigong, which you can buy, they get that at special price today, don't they?
Yeah, well, that's if you're interested.
Yeah, if you're interested, that back Qigong has exercise 4 and 5 of the back Qigong are specific for that part of the pelvis. And they're very, very good if you have a problem with your lower body mobility. So have a look at that as well. And also, I should say, because I'm terrible at doing this, membership area is building as we're doing it. More and more stuff is being filmed and edited, and it will add again and again on a weekly basis. But what we have in there at the moment is more than enough to keep you going for a good 6 months. So look at joining the membership area. We can help you then. In the membership area, we can talk to you. So if you have specific problems, we can talk to you. If you have specific conditions, we can talk to you. I'm a fully qualified and very experienced Chinese doctor.
Oh, don't worry, it's 17 euros. We have a special price at the moment.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
not
25.
25. Don't take any notice of that. It's typical for our IT thing. It's supposed to be 17. So if you join from the webinar, it's 17. If you don't join from the webinar, it's 25. When you look at it, if you're going to become a member, there's a lot of support there available for you. If you don't become a member with us, find a community that you can actually get the help from. Support is vital for this. You need other people to be able to see what you're doing and what you're not doing. You need to be able to have it assessed. If you do it on your own, I'll guarantee you'll get it wrong, because the body and the mind will go, yeah, that's good enough. That's fine. That's lovely. I like that. And it'll stay that way. Okay. Have other people look at it, because that's the way you learn. 4 things for healthy knees.
Yeah, to sum up.
To sum up. Okay. Grip the floor. That's the first thing you need to be able to do. Use the exercise that Branka showed you. Learn to grip the floor. Grip with your toes, just like you would grip with your hand. Grip with your toes. Learn to do that. Rebuild the muscles in your foot. Rebuild the shape of your feet to the floor so that you can have the balance that you need. Avoid turning your knees inwards or outwards. Swimming knees, not good. Okay, check all the time that your knee point does not go over your toes, because as soon as it does, your whole weight is on that knee joint, and it's not designed to carry that type of weight. It's the hinge. It doesn't do that. Push from the ground. Don't just use your leg muscles, because as soon as you just use your leg muscles, you're using your knees again. Push the foot into the ground, and you'll find that the leg will actually extend properly. The right muscles will contract and the right muscles will elongate. And that way you'll build the balance in the leg. And if you build the balance in the leg, it'll go all the way up to the pelvis. You get it going up into the pelvis, it goes onto the small of the back. It goes onto the small of the back, it goes onto the lower back, where most people have their second lot of problems. So just by getting the foot right, you will get everything right all the way up to your lower back. So this is the point where we ask you if you have any questions.
Yeah, I like my questions. Right, so bubbling well, we talked about them 3 nerves going to the bubbling well. And obviously, physically, when you connect from bubbling well, you're getting a response through them nerves that goes to your brain. So you're connecting to your brain with them nerves.
Yeah.
And that's physical. So energetically, when you plug into earth energy, because that's the energy you're plugging into through bubbling well, how does that affect the rest of your energy in your body when you plug in that way?
The same way as it does when you plug in a television. It doesn't work if you don't plug in.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
If you don't plug into, there is a vortice, an energy vortice on that point of the foot that actually goes down into the earth. And that's one of the main vortices of the energy into the body, the energetic body. So if you don't plug that in, you are not going to get the yin energy in anything like the amount that you could do. There are other vortices on the body, as you know, smaller ones that will bring in smaller amounts of chi energy in different ways. But this is your main point. So it's a bit like if you've got like a wireless charger for your phone, the closer the phone gets to the wireless charger, the more of that charge is picking up. Plugging the bubbling well into the floor is the wireless charger. That is you right on top, and you are plugged in, and you're going to get the maximum that you're available to get. Okay. The further away that goes, the less you will be able to bring into the body.
Thank you. So when you first start this and you first start plugging in, so when you're practicing Tai Chi or Qigong, whatever you're doing and plugging in, you feel when you get it right, the energetic connection you plugged in.
Yeah.
But if you take that practice further and it becomes a part of your everyday living, then when you walk around, you're plugging into it all the time. So
Yes.
by proxy, your energy will be better because you've trained yourself to plug in.
Yes.
This is what they very fancily call grounding, even though they don't. But by that they mean just like walking on like barefoot and whatnot. That's not grounding. That's just walking barefoot.
Yeah.
It's putting the bubbling well onto the ground.
That really.
That's grounding.
Yeah, that really works. And of course, the thing with when you first start doing energetic work, you should feel a lot of sensations. You should feel a lot of different things happening within the body. What you're feeling is you're feeling energetic imbalances, and you're feeling chi trying to balance within the body. So it'll concentrate to one area where the imbalance is, trying to balance itself out. When your energetic body is correct, when you're constantly plugged into the energy as you should be, you don't feel anything. It's just perfectly normal. It's balanced, it's neutral, and it should be like that. That's what you're heading for. You get a lot of people, they say, oh, I can feel this whooshing through here and the whooshing through there. It's an imbalance. That's what they're feeling. They're feeling an imbalance unless you are actually focusing energy for a point. If you're using a mudra or something like that, then you can gather energy in a particular point, send it down a particular channel and push it out. Then you'll feel that happening. That's a different type of sensation that you would get through energetic work. But your general normal Qigong or Tai Chi that you're doing, if you're feeling sensations in different places, pay attention. This is where your imbalances are. Look to rectify those imbalances. That's where possibly energy is blocked, or possibly you have a collection of energy which is in an excess. So you need to look at what's going on there. Is it hot? Is it cold for a start? Does it feel of any of those? Is it expanding, or does it feel like it's tight, or does it feel like it's loose? This tells you if it's yin or yang energy that's collected in that point. And that's your clue as to how you would then deal with that particular problem, because you would then do the opposite that you see. But so if you've got a collection of yang energy, that's going to be expanding outwards all the time. Things will feel swollen. They'll feel too big. They'll feel like they're pushing out. This is energy pushing out. You've got too much yang in one place. So a yin version, this is why people put cold onto a swollen joint.
But you can't increase yin. You
No,
have to reduce yang.
you have to reduce yang.
Yeah.
So, otherwise you get them both pushing at you. But this is what Qigong does. So Qigong will give you the balances that you're looking for. This particular point that we've been making with the bubbling well, this is 101. If you don't get bubbling well, you are never going to get a balanced energetic body because it's impossible. You need that to work. Unless you can plug in your TV, it's never going to turn on fully. So this is how important this one particular point is. That's the way of things. I can't change that. I wish I could sometimes. But there you go. Anybody else? Any questions? Or anything, any comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, I have a question about the lunge as Branka was doing.
Okay.
The hind leg is the weight is on the bubbling brook, or is it like also an opening in the kua, or because the leg is probably not completely straight, right?
That leg transitions. So it's the movement moving forward and moving back. The weight will be moving and moving across it through the qua and back down. It'll end at the bubbling well. So it'll start at a bubbling well and end at a bubbling well.
When when you open, what you need to be careful for is that you don't lock your knee. And never lock your knee and don't let it collapse inwards. Okay? So you
And how do I do that?
Using the qua.
You use the qua.
You use the qua.
Come to part two.
Yeah, come to part two.
Right.
You'll do it then.
Teach you how to do it.
It's qua is a many lesson and takes time. But start working on just being able to open your bun.
Yeah.
Just start there. Start being able to do a full squat. Be comfortable in a squat.
with the squat. Now, Branka has been working with squats for a long, long time, so she can squat right down. When you start to squat, as the head moves forward and the shoulders move forward across the sort of perpendicular of the hip, okay, as soon as you start to lean forward, stop. Don't go any further. You need to keep your back as straight as possible as you're coming down. It'll lean possibly around about this much, and that's fine. But any further than that, stop. That's as far as you're going to be able to go. And it doesn't matter how far that is. It may only be this much. It doesn't matter.
No.
Do it correctly and do it often, and it'll stretch and stretch and stretch.
And it's not, hold on to something if it's too hard. The lowest level, I would say, for someone who is like starting with physical movement, just sit on a chair and just lift your butt a bit. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you build it up like anything.
A lot of the things you see online and in classes, it's like, you've got to do the whole exercise. No.
You have to,
That's
like
how you damage yourself.
Yeah. These really low stances, just don't do them. That's just ego.
Yeah. In Tai Chi, they say that shoulder width and a half apart is as far apart as your legs need to be. If you want to be further than that, you're going to have to practice for 10 years first. Because it'll take that long. Yeah.
Very intensely.
It'll take, and intensely, she's right. It'll take that long to stretch your core and your band enough to be able to do that without damaging your knees. Now, I know, because I trained in the Orient. I don't train in Europe. All my teaching was in the Orient. In China and in Japan and in India. Now, I know because I have met them, the people who have done these amazingly fancy, very low stance Tai Chi and Kung Fu. By the time they're 40, they can hardly move. And they don't show you that person.
We practice Tai Chi for longevity and Chi cultivation. And the movements are to aid that. So as the theory of opposites, so you have your yin and yang constantly in balance. So we also seek to balance. So we do not go to the extremes because this really isn't the point. You can do that when you're 20. It's great. But as you start to age, things, you have to keep as mobile as you can and use your body as much as you can. Do not give up on your body. You can still develop. But, does it go down? Do you need to go down in split?
No.
Probably not.
No. Probably cause yourself.
What you do need to do is no. But you do need to be able to do is like carry your groceries up the steps.
Up the stairs, yeah.
That's what you need to do.
And this is where your balance comes in from walking on that bubbling well.
Yeah.
John, you wanted to say something again?
Well, I think Branka covered it. I always go back in my training now and it's something you've both taught me is think, does it have a value? Does it have a purpose?
Yeah.
Having a big, long stance, a lot of it's associated with ego, but also the martial art element of making your legs strong. And in actuality, after doing so much training with both of you, I know that it's actually weaker from a martial point of view to be in a big, long structure. So yeah, it's sort of challenged some of my preconceptions of the training I did before.
It's been quite fun at times.
It has for you, yeah. But having to throw my old training in the bin, but it's given me context. And so I understand that if I've been doing something wrong and Paul and Branka have helped correct that, I can see the value of it. I can see the purpose of it. I used to have terrible knees, actually. Funny enough, when I first met Paul, I had terrible knees. I could only walk about a mile and my knees would kill me. They'd be roasting hot. And Paul did Qigong with me probably within about 2 to 3 months. I never had problems with my knees again. Yeah. So thanks. I forgot about that until now.
All right, mate. No problems. Don't worry about it. It was a long time ago. But yeah, so that's about it from us, I think. Have a look at our link for our membership area. I would recommend that you do that if you're thinking of taking this type of work any further forward. If you want any help, then we have a community building there. We're very friendly, as you can see. We will answer your questions. You can ask me direct questions and I will answer you. and that gives you all the things that you really need. This will be recorded.
This is recorded.
You can have a
You will get a recording once the IT department over here will
be Branka.
get it together.
You will only get a recording if you've registered and we've got your email.
Yeah, but they do because they've come here. That's how they got here.
Okay, boss.
Yeah.
See, this is what
IT department. He's the talent.
I'm the talent,
Yeah.
apparently. So I'm told.
Okay, guys. Have
Okay,
a lovely evening or the day or wherever you are. And
It's been lovely talking to you.
keep an eye out for the part 2.
Yeah, part 2.
Then we will do more about Qua.
See you, Forrest. Thanks very much.
Bye.
See you, Vicky. See you, Brum. See you, John. See you, everybody.